Alrighty, this workout was called Pain Cave. It was my best finish of the weekend. Took first place on this one actually, so I was pretty happy about that. Started off with like a 3/4 mile run. They didn't know exactly the distance. They said it was in between a mile and 0.8 of a mile, so somewhere in there. My goal was just to keep a nice pace, that I wasn't going to feel winded at all, that I could come into my position and just start shooting without having to try and breathe and catch my breath. And I'll speed it up here a little on the run. One of these guys came out pretty hot, ended up walking for a while where I caught back up to him. I think the other guy slowed down quite a bit too, because he got quite a bit ahead of me, and by the time I came in, I think he was just starting his first or second shot, so we all finished right around the same time. My goal was just to keep a good even pace where I wasn't going to get gassed out, and I did that pretty well, so I was happy with it. I wish I would have had a better sling. I just have like a basic Magpul sling with a slide on it. After running a little while, the slide kept loosening up, and I was holding onto it here, and then I had it slung across the front of me, trying to hold onto it so I could hold it with one arm while I was running. That was pretty uncomfortable because the muzzle kept hitting my leg. One of the guys in my group, I wish I would have tried it out during the event. I had my muzzle up always. That's all I've ever worked with. He had his muzzle down, and it seemed he could tighten it to a point where it wasn't moving much or getting caught on anything. Towards the end of the workout, you see there's some sandbag tosses where you had to throw it up on your shoulder, carry it for 50 meters, drop it, or 25 meters. And when I was doing that, it kept getting caught on the muzzle of my gun and bugging me. If I would have slung it muzzle down, like this kid in front of me right now on the run, I think I would have had a lot less issues trying to keep it from moving all over on me. Okay, so I just finished the run, coming in here. It's a 12-minute time cap. I think this took me like 6 to 7 minutes. I came in shooting with handgun on this US PSA standard target. All your handgun shots had to be in the A zone, which is like 4 inches wide by 6 inches tall, I think. It's like, I don't know, that big. You had to shoot a certain amount of rounds with your right hand only, certain amount of rounds with your left hand only, and then certain amount of rounds with both hands. Not something I've practiced very much, shooting one-handed, especially weak hand, but I had recently gone to a course where we spent a little bit of time talking about it, so I think that helped me out quite a bit. Surprisingly, I shot better with my weak hand, my left hand, than my right hand. So after shooting the handgun, you moved to your rifle. You had to be in the valley of that tank trap, so you had to be touching where those two pieces of wood connect, and shooting for A-zone head box, which is, I think, 3 by 5. It's the size of like a flash card, an index card. It's the exact size of that. So luckily I had that LVPO instead of a red dot. I think it helped me out on this because I just cranked it up to 2 power again, and just I could see right where the dotted lines were, and I had all 20 shots about in a silver dollar size hole, so I didn't have any out, which saved me quite a few points, because every shot you got in on those was time taken off your score. It wasn't a penalty for missing, but you got a better score for hitting more of them, which most of the time in these workouts you got a penalty for missing. This one you didn't get a penalty for missing, but you got extra points for getting hits. So I sat down on the ground here, still wasn't quite in the X. They wanted me to drop down lower. Some people were kneeling, and it was a little bit of an awkward angle. It was either too high for them kneeling, or if they got down into a good position, or if they got down into a good position, it was too high, or if they were kneeling tall, it was a little too low. So I sat my butt down on the ground and kind of leaned over a bit, found a really good stable position. All 20 shots right in that head box. Then after the rifle, you pick up the sandbag. It was 100 pounds. It was pretty awkward because it was two 50-pound sandbags inside of the sandbag, so it's not like you could get in, but I don't know. It was just weird. It was awkward. It was a lot more awkward than moving a sandbag full of sand. Every one you threw up on your shoulder and carried the 25 meters down was 20 seconds off your time. So my goal was, as soon as I finished this, to pick that thing up, go down, drop it, pick it right back up, down, drop. And I ended up getting the most carries, I think, of the day, they said. 6 of them. So you can see I just finished shooting. The kid to my left just finished shooting. That other kid that beat us on the run, he's already there at the sandbag. But I think I just had an easier time with the sandbag, doing more CrossFit type stuff than either of these guys, that I was able to get more sandbag carries and more time taken off my score, which is a good thing. Plus, not missing any of those rifle shots, I think, is what got me first place in this event out of everyone. I think there was 53 competitors in the intermediate, and which is what I competed in, not the elite, so the middle level. And I took first on this event, so I was pretty happy with that. I wasn't expecting to do super well. My first event, I took 33rd place, so I was thinking, okay, I'm not going to be competitive this weekend, I'm just going to have fun. And then at the end of the second day, I was in 9th place overall, and ended the weekend in 6th place. So yeah, it was just heavy enough that it winded you getting it up and carrying it down, but it was light enough that you could drop it and pick it right back up. Like I said though, it's a fun workout. I liked it a lot. Took first place on it, so hard not to like it when you do that. I enjoyed it a lot. If you can see the shadow right there, I'm trying to hold my gun down. The sandbag's on the muzzle, so it was pushing it sideways. Again, wish I would have tried slinging it muzzle down on my back, but you learn, so next time be messing with that a bit more. And I'll hopefully have a better sling, like an Edgar Sherman sling, or Spirit system, something. Faro Concepts, I think, has a pretty good sling too, from what I've read. I was getting close to the time here. I was gonna try and make it down and back. I dropped it, picked it up, and then I realized I wasn't gonna have time to go back as well, so just dropped it with a couple seconds left and ended it there.